Hello pups, it's Doge. Welcome back to another video and thank you for stopping by. Welcome to the third episode of Doge Stories, everybody. This is actually going to be a little bit more different than we usually do. The other Doge Stories videos have been more funnier type stories. Well, not this one. This is actually a spookier / scarier type story. But I still hope you enjoy as much as the other ones. So tell me in the comments below of how much you like this video and if I should continue to do the scary stories. Okay, well, this story is called The Man with No Face. And this is actually sent to me by a subscriber of mine, Quicky. Go check him out. I will put his link in the description below. He's a great subscriber, so definitely go check him out. Well, without further ado, The Man with No Face. We had just left our house to go on a trip to our cabin up in the mountains. I had fallen asleep during the drive since it was a long one. Once I fell asleep, I started to have a familiar dream about a man with no face. I distinctly remember the dream about the man. I'd be playing with my toy dinosaurs on my bed at my house, and I would see him looking at me through my window. It seemed that every time I spotted him in my window, he would disappear, and I would always wake up terrified. Except this time, I wasn't in my house. I was at the cabin. In my dream, I looked out my window to see a man with his hat tipped over his head, covering his face. He walked over to my window and smiled with his skin that looked almost burnt. I screamed loud and woke up, seeing my parents and my older brother looking at me. My mom asked, "What happened?" I replied with, "I don't know. I saw the man again." At this point, I was sweaty and trembling. Every time I would look out the window of the car, I kept thinking I was seeing the man, but I just realized it was my imagination instead. Staring at me, chuckling with his hand in his pocket, he would sit there and intimidate me. We had later finally arrived to our cabin. I had partially forgotten about the man in my dream because we had played a couple of games as a family. Later that night, my father had started up a little campfire. I was scared to go out in the dark in the silent woods, but my mom eventually convinced me to. After cooking some hot dogs on the stick, I started to get tired, but that's when I saw his eyes staring at me through the trees. It was pitch black outside, and at this time of night, there were not supposed to be people here. We are not in a popular campground. I don't understand how someone would have been out there at this time of night. I collected my thoughts and was trying to convince myself that it was just a wild animal or something like that. By then, the fire was partially dying out. I took one more glance at the woods before going to head off to bed, and that's when I saw it. The outline of a man in the woods. I started to cry and screaming at my mom and dad. "That's the man! Look! That's him!" My dad flashed his light at the trees, but there was nothing there. The weirdest thing is that after that day, I never had that dream again. Yo!